pleasure bringing you all of this on NET. Here are your participants for the Class B match. First, the Thunderbolts out of Lincoln Pius, coached by none other than Larry Putney, a familiar face to all of you on television. Sophomore Drew Miller, Nick Schuler, Derek Gossard, a sophomore. Young team here, the two seniors, Tony and Zoda and Greg Porchi. Hastings Tigers, coached by Butch Hogan. Heath Sad, Andrew Peters, a couple of seniors, Kyle Christian, Gerald Goddell, Michael Pierce, a senior, Travis Faber, a senior, and sophomore Dalton Monnier. There he is, Mr. Nebraska television play-by-play guy, sideline guy, everything guy, Larry Putney. Larry's longtime coach of the Pius, the 10 Thunderbolts. Larry, a great bowler himself, his son Tyler behind him, assistant coach. There we are. I'm Steve Sempeck, of course. We got a new color guy for this match, Mr. John Aceto, the commissioner of the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation and proprietor here at Sun Valley Lanes. John,
it's an honor and a pleasure to be here
with
you, Mr. Steve Sempeck.
Thanks for helping out, pal. We appreciate it. And we will get going here in just a second here. We've got a packed house here at the time of this taping. It's snowing and blowing like crazy. But we've got a lot of people here. A lot of people came in from Hastings. And, of course, a great crowd here for Pius X as we go forward here and on this Class B match. And, John, we've got a big-time array of different releases, different types of power games. We're going to see our first two-handed bowler that I've seen, at least in high school play. Everybody knows about Jason Belmonte, the Australian professional bowler on the PBA Tour, who throws the ball with two hands. And we're going to see that today. There is the young man, bowls for Larry Putney's Pius X Thunderbolts, Tony and Zoda. But first up on the approach is going to be Derek Gossard for Pius X.
Derek starting out the match on lane 27, making a great shot, putting Pius on the board early.
Going to see a lot of excitement here. These two teams, this is the rematch of last year where Pius beat Hastings and defending champs Pius, but these two teams very familiar with each other.
He's had making a pretty decent shot on lane number 28, going a little bit high, leaving the 4-pin.
Up next now for Pius, Nick Schuler. He is the freshman on the team.
Nick Schuler, the younger brother of last year's champion, Matt Schuler, starts out with a nice 9 count.
A lot of familiar faces, a lot of familiar names here, so this is deja vu all over again, as it's been said. He's sad at the spare now, the 4-pin.
He covers that spare rather easily. He's the emotional leader for the team, likes to get the team going, and has done that early with a spare.
Cross lane at the 9-pin, and Schuler with the spare. Nick's a 3.9 GPA student. Older brother Matt, as John said, is at UNL. He was on the state title team last year. Up on the right-hand lane now, Andrew Peters for Hastings. Senior, averaging 179. Our first lefty so far we've seen, and wow.
Andrew making a tremendous shot on lane 28. It is the first left-hander that we've seen today. The left side hasn't been played out much, and he takes advantage of that with a strike in the second frame.
This is Justin Riesdorf. Justin, a late addition to Larry's lineup for the Thunderbolts. Greg Porchi, one of the seniors on the team, high average of 204. Greg bowled all weekend in qualifying and has been sick, so he's been scratched today and replaced by Justin. On the right-hand lane, that's Kyle Kristen for Hastings, junior, averages 158.
I watched Justin a little bit in practice, Steve, and he did have a pretty decent line to the pocket. I'm not surprised that Coach Putney has put him in.
Covers the 9-pin there. So far, very even. 1-pin difference between the two teams as we're early in match number 1 with the Class B boys state finals. That's our first open frame so far. Hastings now will fall behind a little bit. And here we go, folks. Watch this. This is Tony Zoda. He is a senior. He is going to use the hottest thing in bowling now, the two-hand release. And this is something, and if he hits the pocket, watch the pins fly.
Two-handed release is somewhat tricky to master, but once you do it, you can take advantage of the extra rotation of the ball. It's a great pin action just like that. And you see why the two-handed delivery is starting to become a little bit more popular in the bowling world today.
There's some that say that it puts an inordinate amount of strain on your hip and your back because of you basically have to turn your body to release the ball that way. But You know, I suppose when you're a 17 or 18-year-old high school kid in very good shape, it probably isn't that big of a deal. If you're a fat old guy like us, it might be different.
I agree. I think we wouldn't be able to get out of bed the next day,
Yeah.
Steve.
Wouldn't be able to turn to throw it anyway. This is Drew Miller for Lincoln Pius, sophomore. Great shot.
Drew Miller taking advantage and giving a double to Pius early through 5 frames. Pius takes an early lead up by about 23 pins at this point. Jared, the state singles champion, bowled very well yesterday. Covers the 2-8 with the ball. That's the way to do that. Gets the spare, keeps Hastings in the match. Let's talk about Michael Pierce here, Steve. What a story here with this young man also.
Oh, yeah, just unbelievable story. Michael's senior. Michael's going to go to UNL next year and bowl for Coach Bill Straub and Paul Klempa. Michael was injured on his way to a Teen Masters event in Las Vegas. Nearly lost his life. Just a horrific accident on his way to Las Vegas, John.
Absolutely a traumatic accident.
You bet. We'll talk more about that. All right, there's your score through 5 here. It's close between Hastings and Lincoln Pius. And don't forget, you can get your copy of these great championship memories and keep them forever on a DVD copy of the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation Championships. For a copy of this, you can go to the website, which is www.nhsbf.com. Follow the links to get your copy of either the boys or the girls state championships. You can log on. There's all sorts of other great information on that website. You can preserve those memories for a lifetime, have them forever. Once again, the web address, www.nhsbf.com. We are halfway through match number 1 here of the boys Class B state championships. Chance for Hastings to get back in it with a double. This is Heath Sad, and just a little deep in the pocket, or a little deep inside line there. John Ball just didn't finish. But let's go back to Michael Pierce real quick. I mean, that accident was a horrific accident, and it very well could have took his life. He's still recovering. Had to go through massive amounts of therapy just to be able to bowl again. Am I correct on that?
You are correct. It's fortunate that he's here, and he's overcome many obstacles just to be able to be back up and out and about, let alone to get back to bowling. He had some trouble the first time he got back on the lanes with his equilibrium and other problems, but he's addressed them, and we are seeing the results of that today.
Well, that's just great. What a blessing. Derek Gossard cross lane at the 4-7-10 takes the 2. So right now a strike up, or excuse me, with a spare working in the 6th. If Hastings can strike here in the 7th frame, they're going to be back within 10 pins of Pius. So we are in game number 1. This is Andrew Peters on the left-hand lane. Big lefty. Just looks to me like he came around it. John just kind of got on it, as we say in bowling, a little early. It caused the ball to go high. Yeah,
I think Andrew knew the position they were in. He got a little bit extra on that ball, caused it to hook a little bit early and went through the nose and left himself the 3-6 split. But Hastings trying to get back into this, and they're very close, only 10 pins down.
All right, cross lane now at the 2 and the 4. Needs to go a little straighter at it. He opts to hook it into it, but does. It covers the spare. Hastings still within about a 10-pin lead now for Pius, but on the baby split here, this could tighten it up if he doesn't pick it up. And Nick Schuler opens for Pius in the 7th. So now up on the left-hand lane for Hastings, Kyle Christen to strike here, puts him in the lead.
Pretty decent delivery. Lane number 27, he comes in a little bit light, trips out the bucket, which is the 2-4-5-8, leaving only the 2, but that was very important because the pin count has caused the match now to be tied.
Justin Riesdorf coming in light, leading the 2-4-5. Justin's a senior. Wasn't scheduled to bowl today. He was scheduled to just hold off for the state tournament, but with Greg Porgy coming uphill, Larry Putney, the coach, brings him up. His older brother Joey bowled for Pius X also.
And that's a story that we can talk about here for a second. Greg Porgy. Greg Porgy not being able to make the finals today, but if it wasn't for him and his performance yesterday, Pius would not be here. What had happened, first he's home sick. He's home very, very ill. He was having trouble standing yesterday, and somehow, some way, some shape, some form, he managed to strike out in the 10th frame. Once, twice, 3 times to beat Seward by 1 pin.
Wow.
In order for Pius to make it here. So, unfortunately, he's not here now to take this all in, but if it wasn't for him, he wouldn't be here.
Well, that's why you have the extra bowlers on your roster, and so far, Justin's been nails for Pius. Converts a tough spare. All even, as you can see there on your screen, after 8 frames going into the foundation 9th frame. And this is Gerald Goddell. He was this year's state singles champion. Money there.
Great shot in this situation for sure to give Hastings the commanding emotional lead going into the 9th frame. And we're building up for a potential tie here, but our Jason Belmonte clone is going to try to give it his best to get the pins down here in this shot. Let's watch this two-handed delivery again here, ladies and gentlemen.
A couple deep breaths there by Tony.
Looks pretty good. Got it out. Again, seeing the effect of that tremendous power when the ball transfers that energy into the pins. And we are all tied, Steve, going into the 10th frame.
All right. Well, this is how it's supposed to be, John. It's supposed to be fun like this. Michael Pius. Told you about Michael earlier and all the tragedy he's had to overcome. For those of you at home, Michael, his accident, of course, on the way to Vegas last year to bowl the Teen Masters. Michael says that apparently there was so much glass in that accident that shattered. He still has glass coming out of his arms. There was so much lodged in his skin. So it is just a blessing that he is back, and he needs to help his team out now and cover this 3-pin spare, and does it with no problem. But Pius with the double in the 9th and 10th, or has got a double working with the strike working, is going to take the lead here at the end of this first game. Matter of fact, Johnny, I think a mark here ought to wrap it up for him.
6 pins. 6 pins will take care of it for Pius. There they are.
Exactly what you need. Potential 189 for Lincoln Pius, and the best Hastings can shoot will be 183.
We knew that this match, the first match, would be pretty close. We think that all these matches will probably be pretty close. They're two strong teams. Really only 1-2 opens in the game and 1 split. So these guys are, they got it.
Drew Miller covering the spare. So our first game in the books for Class B boys. Pius the 10th Thunderbolts over Hastings, 189 to 183. This is a best of 5. First team to win 3 games will take home the state championship for Class B. And as you said, John, these are 2 very, very strong teams. Many appearances here in the state finals.
Yeah, you can tell because of that experience, they're actually making some decent deliveries. Normally the nerves, being under the lights for the first time, is pretty nerve-wracking for most of these young players, and these guys are showing their experience, making great shots early. It's just a matter of who can catch the double and who can stay clean and ride that out to the end of the game.
Heath Sad with a 201 average in league play, 256 high game, leaves the 10 pin in frame number 1 of game 2.
A good shot, just didn't get the roll at the back end to have that 6-pin kick out to 10.
This is Derek Gossard. Great shot.
Great shot. Derek comes in light, has the ball drive through, kicks the 5 over into the 4.
You know, one of the things about the Pius Thunderbolts, this is a very young team. Last year's championship team, the state champions from last year, they lost 6 of 7 players off that team. So this is a new team for Coach Larry Putney.
Coach Putney's done well getting these guys prepped and ready early.
Nick Schuler, freshman, young. Wow, what a shot.
I think Nick doesn't want his brother Matt to be the only one with a state championship in the family. He's doing all he can do to try to give Pius that edge.
Sibling rivalry there. Lefty Andrew Peters now. 670 high series for him. Gets the ball way out on the lane, out to the edge, leaves the 6. And you'll see the left-hander here playing a lot further towards the gutter, towards the edge of the lane, than you'll see the right-handers play.
And that's due to play on the lane. So the left side doesn't get used as much, so their outside line usually tends to hold up better.
Well, Justin Riesdorf, for not planning on bowling today and getting thrown into the action quick, has come through. Another strike for him.
I'm sure he's making Greg Porchi rather proud today.
Cross lane on the spare there for for Andrew Peters. And so far through 2, Pius with a 3-bagger. Actually, Pius threw 3 with a 3-bagger. Hastings is going to have to climb through there.
Well, we've seen 2 strikes thus far for Tony, our two-handed bowler. As far as we know, the only currently competing two-handed player in the state of Nebraska's high school bowling program.
That's probably going to change after today, John. Good shot there.
Now, this will be the trick here, Steve, because you really can't throw the ball two-handed to make a 10-pin if you're right-handed, because the ball will hook too much and hook away.
Kyle Christian there leaves the soft 10. Both those shots there, both players were probably just a little bit in the center of the lane where that heavier concentration of oil was and caused the ball not to finish, right?
Correct. And Hastings has been close. So they left 2 10-pins and a 6-pin thus far. All 3 great shots. But we see him throw one-handed.
Yep.
And he can do that too.
That's right.
This guy's got all the tricks in his bag.
Well, you know, it's all right. Whatever you got to do to make it work, and cross lane for Hastings at the 10, and he did not get that off his hand clean. It looks like he lost early and hooked early. So Pius now commanding lead. Looks like 32 pins now for the lead on Pius. Pius has over Hastings with a spare working in the 4th. Chance to really jump on top here. Oh, a great shot. Just bad break, leaves the solid 10.
And Drew got that ball just a little bit inside. It held and rode the oil down the lane a little bit longer, causing the ball to break late, which then causes the 6-pin to go around the 10-pin. He leaves a solid 10. Our state singles champion, Jared Gottel, like to get Hastings back into this. Tremendous. Awesome shot there by Jared. Makes up for the open in the 3rd for Hastings with a strike.
Coach Putney put on the bio we use for notes here in the broadcast booth that he wasn't happy with his spare shooting of his team this year, but with such a young team, you know, he kind of took it in stride, and that missing the spares really bothered him, so he was hoping that they would take care of that today, and Hastings answers back. That's Michael Peters, going to bowl for Coach Straub and Coach Klempa at the University of Nebraska. Next year, through 5, big lead still for Pius. Hey, we'd like for you to help us sanction high school bowling by visiting the website for the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation, nebraskahighschoolbowlingfederation.com. That's NHSBF.com. 20 other states and athletic associations in other areas of the United States sanction high school bowling. We'd like you to help us. Iowa, Kansas, all sanctioned. It's time to give us a hand. Log on to that website today, and you can learn more on how to help. All right, back up, 6th frame for Pius, and that is Derek Gossard. Just a sophomore, Johnny.
He said would like to take advantage of the split for Pius, and he does, giving Hastings a turkey. That brings them back into a 9-pin game.
Back with, actually, if Pius, if they do not convert this spare, Hastings will have the lead. Cross lane at the 3-10. Oh.
Derek missing inside, hoping to get the 3-pin to bounce off the kick back into the 10. Unfortunately, does not. This opens the door for Hastings. Andrew Peters, the lefty, would like to take advantage of that.
12-pin lead now for Hastings. Can make it 32 in a strike. Oh, look at that.
What a break. Absolutely tremendous break for Hastings. Going high through the nose. One of the pins bounces out of the pit, rolls across the lane, taking out the 2-4.
Nick Schuler, Pius.
This is going to be tough for Pius, Steve. We are on an emotional ride here now for Hastings. They're taking advantage of the momentum. So, hey, let's see if they can keep it going here.
2-4-5 there. Well, Coach Putney said that, you know, they really didn't expect to get this far. They're happy they did, of course, and the kids really gutted it out and got the team here yesterday. Overcame, of course, one of their best bowlers being sick and all that, but you know, they're up against the Hastings Tigers team that's been here many times. Coach Butch Hogan, 8 years, a USBC silver coach, and of course he is the owner of Pastime Lane in Hastings. His wife Donna.
Kyle covering the 2-4-5 keeps Hastings in the lead.
All right, Justin Riesdorf, see if he can answer. He's been there so far for Pius. That's got to come back, and that's
a little to the right. Leaves the 1-2-4. Got the ball wide right down the lane. Didn't give it enough lane to hook up into the pocket. Jared Gottle on lane number 28. That pocket strike.
74 in the 8th for Hastings, commanding lead. If Pius is going to have a chance to come back here, it's got to start with this spare.
That it does.
Going to have to hope for an open frame here for Hastings, but they've got their man, Michael Pierce, up where he likes to be in the anchor position. They can count on him. 212 average, John. Look at that shot. That's right where it needs to be.
Wow. What a great shot. Look at that young man. He is just taking it easy, enjoying life. Doesn't look like he has a care in the world. Right
down the track area of the lane, right to the left of the second arrow. Gets it out to that hook area and right back in. So, up on the left lane, Tony and Zoda. It's going to be too little too late, though, for Pius, as Hastings will be in the 220s, most likely. Ooh, good shot. Leaves a solid 10. You know, he's thrown good shots. I mean, to my recollection, he's hit the pocket every time that he's been up.
That he has.
Picked up a couple spares. So he's
2 10s and 2 strikes for him.
Yep. Just a bit outside.
That's okay. That could have been what we call fishing in the bowling world. He got that ball out just to kind of see what the lane was doing. They are already got this game sewed up.
Yep. Best Pius can shoot is 203, and Hastings will be at or near 220 based on the
Hastings making a substitution, putting Dalton Monair into the match. Match is already done. So,
John, give us a quick blurb here on what we're doing at the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation here. What the latest cause has been.
Well, we are 7 years into our program. We have more than 100 teams representing about 65 to 68 different high schools across the state of Nebraska, from small towns all the way up to big towns, from Alma and Dodge through Lincoln and Omaha, and everywhere in between to all corners of the state, giving opportunities to young people. About 89 to 90% of our participants in any given year do not compete in any other high school sport, so we're pretty excited by the fact that we've got kids participating in bowling that don't compete in other high school athletic programs, and bowling is a great thing to allow that.
Sam Kurtenbach, as Coach Larry Putney puts in a sub for Pius. Sam, a sophomore. High game at 261, high series at 650.
A wise move by both coaches. There's nothing more nerve-wracking than throwing your first ball on TV. So by getting these guys in these situations, in the event that they stay in or come in later, there's a pretty good chance that those nerves and butterflies will be gone.
Match number 2, game number 2 in the books, I should say, as Hastings comes back and evens it up 1-1 as they prevail over Pius 220 to 193. So we'll go to game number 3. Of course, best of 5, first team to 3 games. This is like a heavyweight bout. You know, it's just...
Yeah, no surprises yet, Steve. We knew that both these teams are going to be pretty strong. Pius coming off their experience, despite Coach Putney's young team, but Hastings being the bridesmaid one too many times, I think they're hungry.
Great shot there by Derek Gossard.
He's sad, stepping up. Lane number 28 for the Hastings Tigers. Like to make the same strike that Pius did. Week 10, ball finishing a little bit too late again. He's done that the last 3 deliveries, I believe, leaving the 10 pin. Might need to make a ball change or an angle change.
If you border 2 to the right, get a little better angle, a little more of a solid angle of the pocket. Fence there on the left, 1, 2, 4 in the 7 for Pius's Nick Schuler. Tough spare. You don't want to give pins away. That's why spare shooting so important. Good ball change there for the spare for Heath Sad. Switch to a different ball. It hooks a little less. So,
yeah, ideally here, Steve, you want to get the ball to the left side of the head pin and have the ball literally go right down all 4 pins. Oh, a little fortunate.
Not how Nelson Burton would draw it up, but it worked. So
Andrew Peters like to put Hastings in the lead with a strike. The left-hander playing that far outside line. Ball's going to break late. And in the pin. Great shot.
Johnny, that one got outside to about the second or the third board and it comes roaring back. So sometimes it's feast and famine with the wide outside angle.
Yeah, that's a great way to explain that, Steve. Either they have a lot or sometimes they have nothing at all.
Trading strikes and spares here.
Justin Reesdorf making a good shot for Pius.
Kyle Christian here with a strike. Give Hastings a double and the lead and leaves the dinner bucket.
Yeah, Kyle's ball finishing a little bit too late, leaving the 2-4-5-8. A challenging spare because there's ways that the ball can seem like it's going to hit the pins and chops, leaving one of the pins behind.
Plenty of ways to miss the spare, but let's watch our two-handed bowler, Tony and Zoda. There's both hands hanging onto that ball and rapid rotation. He gets it out to the right. That one looks like he kind of lost that one a little bit, John.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of experience coming into play there. He fortunately, by missing to the right the way he did, keeps himself out of trouble, leaving a spare, the 1-2-4-7, which we just saw. Tremendous spare conversion by Kyle Kristen, though.
Very good. Kyle is the glue that holds the team together. You got to have glue.
You do have to have glue. I agree. Tony would like to cover the spare just like Justin did 2 frames prior. Get the ball to the left side of the head pin. Let the ball take out all 4 of the pins. He has the hook ability to do it. Doesn't get it to the left side. Takes out the 1-2-4, leaving the 7. Giving Hastings the opportunity to take over the match.
Increase their lead. Strike here will give them about a 12-pin lead with a strike working. That's going to have to hook, and it does. Wow, great shot there. That is Jared Gottle.
Jared finished his delivery strong, causing the ball to rotate through the back end, hook into the pocket, and strike.
Coach Putney needs a spark. He's going to ask Drew Miller to give it to him. Oh, just a great shot. Right down, as you said earlier, John, right down the oil line. The ball just kind of rides it. Can't get into the right angle of the pocket to carry out the 10, but, as long as I've bowled and you too, if you're leaving ringing 10s, maybe you just stay there. They're eventually going to fall.
Yeah, sooner or later, the lane will change enough that will cause that ball to finish the way it's supposed to. Michael Pierce, I think, moved a little bit to the right based on his bucket that he left in the 10th frame, thinking that it was a lane situation when actually he probably didn't quite make a good delivery on that 10th frame ball, so he made an adjustment that caused him to go high on this shot.
Got to pick the spare up, moving cross lane and a plastic ball, and good cover for Michael Pierce. Michael has got a 300 game to his credit, Chad. Halfway through game number 3, we're close. 12-pin lead for the Hastings Tigers. If you'd like to order some great apparel, we've got everything: sweatshirts, t-shirts, bowling towels, bag tags, and more. You can pick it up at the State High School bowling website, which is NHSBF.com. Check it out today. Once again, NHSBF.com for shirts, sweatshirts, everything you need to show your colors and your support for high school bowling. Great championship apparel available today on the website. Frame number 6 for the Tigers, and this is Heath Sad. He's the emotional leader for the team, so it would be good for him to strike and get him pumped up, but cross lane spare, John. We've seen trouble with these today.
Yeah, Heath was fortunate going through the nose like he did, not to leave a split.
Looked a little slow there on that delivery. That's might be why it went high. Oh, that's just a terrible break.
That 5-pin is wobbling and wobbling, but just won't fall over.
Well, Derek is he says spare shooting is his strength, and that's a good thing. He has need the pin reset there on 28 as it wobbled enough to have it fall out of the pin spotter, but it's back up. And now Sad will go cross lane at that 3-6-10.
Sad doing the right thing, being distracted. He steps off the approach, tries to reset himself, shoots cross lane at the 3-6-10 and covers all 3 of the ball. Textbook spare conversion.
This will really help the cause for Pius if Derek can pick up this spare. He's going to try to put it between the 4 and the 5, just like that. Oh!
Derek did what he was supposed to do. That's the only way to make that spare is to get the ball between the 4 and 5, but you have to have the 4 kick off the kick back into the 7 pin, and unfortunately for him, it just went right around it.
Big lefty, Andrew Peters. John, it looked like when he let go of that ball, he did what we call in the industry hit up on it. It means that he let go of it on the upswing, which caused the ball to immediately hook to the right. You want to actually project the ball into the lane. Oh, what a shot. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, Steve, you're correct. It's somewhat like golf where actually less is more. The less that you do during the delivery, extra forces, is better off for the rotation on the ball. Sometimes too much of a good thing can be bad.
Sure. Cross lane at the, wow, the 2-4-7. Ball hooked so sharp at the end of the lane, it picks the 4 off the 7. So Hastings with the door a little bit further open for Pius, and a spare for Nick Schuler.
Yeah, Nick Schuler, bad break for him on his first delivery. Put the ball dead flush in the pocket, left the only true tap in bowling, the solid 8 5 pin. Just misses the 8 pin going back off the lane.
All right, well, Hastings is beginning to give it back a little bit. A strike here by Pius's Justin Riesdorf, and they will take the lead over by 1 pin.
Coach Putney stepping up, giving Justin a little bit of advice. Knows that the opportunity is here now if Pius can make a strike on lane number 28, 8th frame.
He's got to hook a lot, though, John. Just looks like he got a little fast with his feet there, got a little out of control at the point of release.
Difficult spare in the 1-5-8-9. The ball has to cover almost dead center on the head pin in order to get the ball and the pins in order to take out the back row of the 8 and the 9.
That open frame gives Hastings 131 in the 8th. So this is the chance for Pius to come back and control their own destiny in this match, but a tough spare, the 1-5, 8, and 9. He's got to hit it just right, and he does.
Wow. Absolutely tremendous shot by Justin.
Pius back now within 1.
We're going down to the 9th and 10th foundation frames.
Jared Gottle.
Shot. Tremendous shot. Again, we're seeing this match, Steve, go right to the very end. No surprises.
This was expected, I would think. Tony and Zoda up now on the right-hand lane. Tony missed the head pin to the right last time up, so we'll see if that was just maybe a fluke in the delivery or if he's going to make a change. But he has had good success earlier, so he'll probably stay right where he's at.
Pin count is going to be very important. He'd like to get as many pins as he can. A strike will bring it within 1. They did. He is excited. Wow, Steve, we have a 1-pin match going into the 10th frame.
Hastings can control their own destiny. If they can go off the sheet in the 10th frame, they'll win game number 3. And hey, there's 1. Trips to 4.
Michael Pierce making a great shot in the 10th frame. Goes high flush. 2-pin goes to the sidewall. Trips the 4-pin forward. Great break.
He's got to keep up here. Drew Miller. Step back off the approach and wait a little bit here as there's something distracting him. Good move. Drew plays the guitar and the piano. It's on the trap shooting team also, so he's got obviously very good coordination.
Like to get a strike. Keep Pius in the match.
Oh, tough break.
Bad break. Basically 6 pins here for Hastings. Michael Pierce. Steve will give Hastings the 2nd win of the match. That's it. Hastings is going to take a 2-1 lead here in the best 3 of 5 Baker competition.
Best Pius can shoot now is 170. Hastings will be possible 191 if Travis Faber can throw a strike. Travis, a senior. Coach Butch Hogan makes a substitution on the Hastings side of the team. And for Pius, that is Sam Kurtenbach, comes up and strikes.
Wonderful shot for that young man coming in off the bench, not playing yet this game.
You might see Coach Larry make a change here for that, and
I would not be surprised by that at all. He threw that very well.
Travis Faber, senior, averages 182, and he throws a great shot. There's your winner. Hastings takes game number 3 over the Lincoln Pius X Thunderbolts, 191 to 170. Hastings now leads 2 games to 1. This is what we expected, John. Heavyweights slugging it out.
Well, we knew one of them would have to get the 2 games.
And we did know that.
That had to happen sooner or later. So Pius is now in a situation where they have to win the game in order to keep the match going.
Well, John, we've had another great year at the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation. The process for getting it through into the schools is a long one, which requires athletic directors to unify together and vote through their voting arm, which is the NSAA, and we had more districts this year propose it, which means more athletic directors support it, propose it than we've ever had. It just takes time. It's an education process, right?
That's exactly it, Steve. It is an education process, and like everything, you know, all good things come to those who wait. We just keep plugging away and educating the school administration as well as the parents to the process.
Goddard there, leaving the 6 and the 10. Yeah, it's you know, there's a lot of things that come into play that affect decision making of school administrators, budget, time, especially by their staff, which are usually already stressed at the amount of time they can work. Budget, as we said earlier, but we've systematically addressed those things, and you know, we just keep plugging away, as you said, John. Cross lane on lane 28 for the 6 and the 10. Derek Goddard, and covers it.
He did cover it. It's a good way to make the spare. Use the 6-pin to Kareem into the 10-pin. So we have a tie match after 1 frame. Both teams up with a spare early.
Andrew Peters, high series of 670. He's a senior. Coach Butch Hogan's got a veteran team here, all seniors except for 2.
Our left-hander coming in, playing an outside strong hook, hooks it through the nose. I think he's hooked it high, both his deliveries, the last 2 deliveries on lane number 27. Left that 247 last time.
Looks to me like he got the ball a little too far outside too early, and Pius answers with Nick Schuler and a strike. Nick, a freshman, 3.9 GPA. Need a spare here, John.
The way to cover the spare is to throw the ball straight, because you need as much deflection off of the 2-pin. Looks like he's going to try to do that, switch into a harder ball, but still hooking it in. And doesn't get the late hook off with a hard plastic type of ball. This is the 2-pin to the left and open for Pius. I'm sorry, open for Hastings.
Pius with a double here. Take a 23-pin lead, and there's the substitution we thought we'd see. That is Sam Kurtenbach, and Sam playing, which I think is in the right, probably the best line on the right side of the lane, is just right around the second arrow, a little bit right of that because he's fairly straight, and ball settles right in the pocket.
Yeah, so the young man should be very proud coming off the bench and just labeling the last 2 shots with 10 pins in the pit.
Kyle Kristen up on lane 27. He is the son of assistant coach Chris Kristen. Remember, Hastings won the state championship in 2007, 2 years ago.
Kyle left a difficult spare, the 3, 6, 9, 10. He has to have the ball hit just to the right center of the 3-pin with some rotation in order to have the ball drive through and take out the 9 and cover the 6 and the 10.
And Zoda, 2 hands in. Is he going to get the scout? Almost.
Got a good break there, Steve. Actually, the 5-pin tripping out the 7-pin late could have left the what we call the pocket 7-10, which has just been a bad break for Pius if that had happened. Difficult spare here for Kyle. We saw what we thought might happen if you don't get just the right, almost dead center on that 3-pin in order to get that 9-pin out in the back row.
Into the 3rd frame. 33-pin lead for Pius. Spare here will keep that lead.
That's really great that young man can use a 2-handed and get the ball to hook a great deal, and then switch over to 1-handed and throw it straight as an arrow to cover a 10-pin. This young man has some long-term potential, I think, Steve.
Jared Goddell. Let's get Hastings back into it, and he does. Great shot.
That young man's been solid today as well. He has many strikes in his delivery thus far.
Drew Miller up on the right-hand lane and comes in high and gives a little bit of an opening to Hastings. Leaves the 4-7-10.
4-7-10, very difficult to make for the right-hander because they have to just clip the far left side of the 4-pin in order to get the slide across the lane into the 10.
Hastings with a strike, I was going to say, would have put him back within 20, but leaves the bucket. So each team may be gripping a little bit here, John.
Yeah, the nerves of the end of the match are starting to come through. Ball bouncing out of the pit doesn't count there, so that is 0 for that delivery.
Cross lane now at the 2-4-5-8. Michael Pierce. That's how to do it right there. Put the ball right in the 2 and the 5 area. All right, we're through 5 again in game number 3.
17 pins.
Our individual bowlers for this year for Class B for the single standings for boys Class B. Waverly's Mike Van Osdol was our gold medalist with a 634, followed by Cole Peterson from Seward and Derek Dowell from York. Michael Pierce from Hastings. Don't forget in the NHSBF competition, our singles competition also coincides with team competition, and we have a medalist just like all the other high school sports. And Michael Pierce, as you saw, was right up there, and congratulations to Mike Van Osdol from Waverly. A nice 634 set, and that's scratch, giving him the medalist position for Class B boys. Back up on the right-hand lane, Heath Sad coming in just a little high, leaving the 4-pin.
Heath really wanting that shot there. Put it high flush into the pocket, just didn't catch a break, and trying to trip the 4-pin with a 2. 18 pins separate these two teams.
Spare on the 4-7 by Derek Gossard. Every year the Nebraska Bowling Proprietors have a state Pepsi tournament. Pepsi, one of the sponsors. It's just basically a youth bowling tournament where scholarships are awarded. And Derek won it last year. 6 frame completed, and Pius still hanging on to a slim lead. About 12 pins. And they extend their lead now in strike. Nick Schuler.
Great shot by Nick. Off his hand. Looked very relaxed, and because of that, the ball rolled up through the mid portion of the lane, right towards the pocket. Light pocket strike.
Increase the lead to 28 pins, unless Andrew Peters can strike here. Way outside. Ball comes in high, leaving the 4-pin. John, what happened there?
He actually played the outside portion of the lane too much there, Steve. The outside portion of the lane being drier, having less oil, causes the ball to hook. He actually needs to move to his right in order to get more skid. Drive the ball over the pocket. Wow.
Boy, Sam just has a great game. Compact delivery. All the fundamentals really good. Ball just finished a little high, leaving a stone 7. Cross lane now at the 4. Andrew Peters.
Sam coming in, his last 2 deliveries have just been dead flush in the pocket. 10 pins right off the pin deck. This shot no different. Hits the pin so strongly that he leaves a solid 7. Covers the spare, just like it's just a day in the park, Steve.
He just throws the ball really well. 29-pin lead for Pius as they finish the 8th frame with a spare working. 8th frame up for Hastings, and this is Kyle Kristen.
Kyle with a strike here in the 8th could close that gap some.
A little slow, looked like, John. Looks like his ball speed was down a little bit, and that caused the ball to hook a little more.
Yeah, that it did, Steve. Throwing that ball at about 13.3 miles per hour.
Exactly, John?
Exactly.
Did you just pick that out of the air, or is your eyesight that good, or have you got something helping you?
I got a little bit of both. Yeah, a little bit slow in the delivery. The faster you throw the ball will tend to hook less. The slower that you throw it, the ball will tend to hook more. A little extra ball speed would allow him to go to the pocket.
Well, if I'm Coach Larry Putney, I would be really happy with my two-handed experiment here so far.
Yeah, he averaged 160 in the summer. Decided to make the conversion over to two-handed. Raised his average more than 30 pins into 192.
Just about on the baby split.
Kyle made a great shot, really came close to making that split.
Well, if I had to guess, it looks like we're going to 5 games. Strike working for Pius in the 9th. This here by Drew Miller, a strike could seal it.
Yeah, we're going to go to 3. Going to 3. Pius didn't break 200. Great game for them.
Jared Goddell, good release.
Jared Goddell has 7 strikes in a row. 7 strikes in a row.
That's all. That's just him.
Just him.
Just him. It's great. It's a sign of how Baker Bowling evens up the team aspect of the sport, because it really requires you to have all your players hitting on all cylinders. You know, it's not like a standard 5-game or 5-man team event, 5-person team event where you can have somebody shoot 790 and the rest of the guys or girls can tank and you pull your way to victory. It really requires you to bowl well as a team.
Very true, Steve, and that is the difference in Baker Bowling. That one woman can't carry the team.
Well, Hastings, even with a double working, the best they can do is 181, and Lincoln Pius is going to be over 200. They are over 200 with a 202, and they're going to win game number 4. So we are all tied at 2 apiece. Substitution for Coach Hogan. That is Dalton Monier, sophomore, averaging 190 for the Hastings Tigers.
Steve, I would guess that whatever team can get to 200 most likely is going to win the championship. First game won with 189, second game won with 220, third game won with 191, and this game won with 202. You're going to have a good game in order to become the state champion Class B this year.
All right, we're all tied at 2. Pius winning game 4, 202 to 170. So we're either going to see a repeat with Pius going back-to-back, or we're going to see Hastings win it, which will be the second time in 3 years. So we're familiar with seeing these two schools on the TV show.
All right, Pius starting out the match on lane number 27. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. One game to determine the championship.
Derek Gossard. Oh, a tough break, leaving the 4-9.
What a bad break. Look at him, he's wondering in awe, Coach, what did I do? Made a good shot.
Well, you've got to shake it off. At this point, you know, spilt milk is spilt milk. You have to clean it up and you got to move now. So this is Heath Sad, and Heath gives Hastings the quick lead.
Heath Sad with an important emotional strike. That helps Hastings build a little bit of confidence, especially with a bad break for Pius.
Cross lane's got a chance. Oh, just not enough. That's all right. You got to go for it. This is, you know, basically sudden death almost. You want to call it that. You have to go for it. So a double here. Heath Peters would really, really put Pius back on their heels.
Heath Peters playing in the same part of the lane that he did last frame. That one went to the right also, and he needs to kind of move to the right to get into that oil, Steve, in order to allow his ball to skid. He only has one more first ball left.
Nick Schuler right back.
Interesting point about bowling. We've had 2 great shots for Pius, but Pius is not in the driver's seat. Bad break in the first frame. Hurt them early. Simple. So I was going to say simple spare at the 5-pin. A lot of hook and break in that ball caused it to just miss the pin to the right. Now the match is flipped.
Sam Kurtenbach, who's been nailed so far, up on the left-hand lane. There he is again.
Wow. Coming off the bench.
Yep.
4 deliveries, 3 strikes.
And another substitution. Dalton Monair. Sorry, Dalton, mispronounced your name earlier. Coming in for Coach Hogan and carries the Brooklyn, but that's all right. It all looks the same on the old TV screen.
That's right. No style points.
Yeah, Pius still with the lead.
If there were style points, Steve, you'd never break 100.
Well, you know, there's a lot of people that said I have a face made for radio. So.
I agree with that.
That's why there's not a lot of action photos of us up here. Tony and Zoda now up in frame number 4 for Pius. Chance to give them a 3-bagger. Extend the lead. Takes a little extra time.
Strike here for Pius would really help them out.
Oh, he got away with that one, John. He pulled that one, but the ball settled in the oil and did not overreact. And that is huge. It's nice to know when you go out, and that's the advantage of that two-hand delivery, is it gives you, maybe instead of 4 boards to hit to get a strike, it might give you 7 or 8 because you have so much more room for error.
If you can double the amount of room you have for error, Steve, that's tough.
So has Jared Gottle hasn't missed yet then, has he?
No, he hasn't missed 8 strikes in a row.
8 strikes, just phenomenal.
You'd have to think about maybe putting him in 8. Michael Pius has done a great job, but
sure.
When you've got 8 strikes in a row, you've obviously got the line on something.
Drew Miller carries the swisher. This one's going to be fun. Hastings can't let Pius get too far out in front here, so.
It's already fun, Steve. This is a great match.
Down by 11. Need to go to their go-to man, Michael Pius. Oh, you know, it looked like he just got a little fast on that one. Just a touch. Looks like he might be maybe a 1 mile an hour, just a little quicker, and that just caused the ball to go down the lane a little further.
Yeah, well-executed shot, Steve. I would have said, you know, for the first 30, 40 feet of the lane,
Good.
I thought it was going to go to the pocket.
Good.
And then it just backed off. Didn't quite make it up the hill, as we say. Leaving the dinner bucket, the 2-4-5-8. Tough spare.
Picked it up earlier, and he does it again. Same, repeated it. He did leave it earlier. Okay, we're through 5. Lincoln Pius with a lead over Hastings of about 22, 23 pins. If you'd like a DVD of this very exciting match, you can go online to NHSBF.com. That's the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation website. Chance for you to keep these memories forever with your own copy of a DVD of either the boys or the girls Federation Championships. Once again, follow the links at NHSBF.com. Go to that website, follow the links, order your DVD today, and you'll have your own copy of this great Class B match to keep forever. Wow, great shot there by Heath Sad. Leaves a ringing 10.
Heath Sad been in the pocket all day long. Basically 9 counts for him. As the emotional guy on the team, he just would love to break out with some strikes for his teammates.
Derek Gosser left the 4-9 earlier. Comes in a little high, leaves the 4, but that's better than the 4-9. Looks like he just pointed it a little bit, John.
6 first balls for Pius. All 6 of them could have been strikes. Derek collecting like the spare.
Gotta
Pius
have
in
it.
the lead. That's why they paint the pier.
Gave it a little body English there. Good enough. But right now, Hastings is in trouble because Pius is stringing strikes. Now this 4-pin here.
With a spare here, Pius will be up by 25 pins.
Look out. Nope. Hold on.
So through 6 frames, Pius is up by 25. 4 frames left. Our left-hander from Hastings is coming up. Let's see if he makes a move.
He's got to pick the speed up or he's going to move in, John. And it looks like he's in about the same spot. A little quicker, but he's got to make that move. He's got to either change. Well, I don't know if I'd change balls, but I would just move my feet maybe 3 or 5 boards to the right, move my target in with my eyes a couple boards, and I'm going to get the break. Nope.
Yeah, his release is good. Execution is good.
Oh, throws the ball very well. Really throws it well. If I'm a college bowling coach out there, I'm slobbering all over the Andrew Peters kid from Hastings. He throws it very well. Just needs to make a few adjustments on the lane.
Tough spare and covering the 2-4-7. He's got to get the ball to the left side of the 2-pin.
Chance to chop it too, and he does not.
All right, well, Nick Schuler coming up on lane number 28 would like to cover the spare. Bring home his own Nebraska High School Bowling Championship pin.
23-pin lead still for, 27-pin lead still for Pius. Going to the 8th frame. Both teams with spares working.
Dalton needs to strike here to keep the Hastings Tigers in this match.
Ball just didn't finish. It looked like it was going to start to finish, but just at the end couldn't get out of that heavier concentration of oil in the middle of the lane. Now here's a young man that's just been right there for Coach Putney, Sam Kurtenbach. A strike here, and that will just about do it. A little fast. Oh, is he going to get it? No.
Wow, went from a bad break to a good break.
I think the adrenaline might have got to Sam there. That was a lot quicker than the last couple times he was up and threw the ball, but Oh. Big spare keeps Hastings barely alive, but right now they're on life support. They're down by 30.
Sam Kurtbach needs to cover the 7-pin on lane 28.
We're going into the 9th frame, and right now what has to happen is Hastings has got to command strikes, and this guy has not missed yet today. He's going for his 9th strike, Jared Goddell.
Looks pretty good, Steve. Late finishing, 2-pin late in the pocket.
We'll probably get to a point now, John, where the oil is starting to carry down the lane a little bit, and that's going to affect the way the ball finishes. But he's done everything Coach Butch Hogan has asked for him to do, and that's strike nearly every time. And now, this will be the last time you're going to see this guy today. I think you're going to see him. Oh, he's a senior, so this is the last time you're going to see him. Tony and Zoda.
I think if we had said to Coach Putney in the summer, said, hey, guess what? Your championship is really going to come down to this two-handed delivery, which this young man hasn't started yet. Yet here we are.
He would have called us nuts.
Look at that. Look at that. And he is excited. And he should be. Wow.
Well, the best Hastings can do now is going to be 195. So really all Pius has to do is show up for the 10th frame, and they're going to be your Class B state champions for 2010.
Yes, if Hastings were to strike out, Pius would need 5 pins on this delivery to win the competition.
Well, this is what you want to see. This is just a great environment. We've got packed stands here, John. And let me tell you, while you're sitting next to me, the job you and your staff do at Sun Valley Lanes. First of all, being a bowling proprietor myself, it's a lot of money and revenue that you basically give up for us to have this environment here. And this is as good as an ESPN production, and that's also an attaboy of the folks at NET. It's just, we've hosted 3 national PBA events at our bowling centers, and this is just a phenomenal job that you guys do, and of course with the folks at NET, and and this is just such a great deal for high school bowling.
Well, thank you very, very much, Steve. And as you know, I get to do some traveling, being on the Bowling Proprietors Association of America's board of directors. I've been able to travel across the country and talk to proprietors from all over the great United States of ours. But what we've found is that here in Nebraska, we really do have a tremendous bowling community, both statewide and here in the city of Lincoln. We all pull together and do what's really the best thing for the kids. And yeah, if that means a little bit of a financial hit for me, well, you know what, so be it. To be able to have this and give these kids this opportunity, that's really what life's about. So if it wasn't for myself, my partners, and then all the volunteers that really make this possible. I mean, we've had more than 50 volunteers between building the arena and helping out at all 4 of the centers here in Lincoln, Hollywood, Parkway, Madsen's, in order to do the state championship. It wouldn't happen. So that's it. That was the last shot going in there for Pius, but 80 by the door.
204 for Pius. The best Hastings can do is 184. This is Travis Faber is going to wrap things up for Hastings, and congratulations to Coach Butch Hogan too. Butch does a wonderful job. Butch is part of our Nebraska High School Bowling Federation team. He keeps things organized out there in the central part of the state, keeps teams bowling, and he does a great job. And that is it, folks. Your Class B state champions, the Lincoln Pius X Thunderbolts, as they go back-to-back and beat Hastings 204 to 183. We will be back with a couple of interviews and our trophy and medal presentation here in just a few seconds. Hang right in there, and we'll be right back, folks. Welcome back, everybody, to Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, and we just had a barn burner for Class B Boys State Finals. It's a repeat. Lincoln Pius X, the Thunderbolts, over the Hastings Tigers in 3 games out of 2. I'm going to throw down the approach to NHSBF Commissioner John Lucido with Tony and Zoda and Coach Larry Putney, the champions in Class B boys. John, take it away.
Thank you very much, Steve. I'm here with a young man really, you have to tell me this story. This summer, averaging about 160 is my understanding. Say, hey, Coach, I think I want to try this two-handed thing. And all of a sudden, to the ninth frame of the fifth game of this competition, you're standing in the position to make or break Pius's second title. How does it feel to have this title and what you've done over the summer and have it happen today?
Oh man, it's a thrill. It's wonderful. Let's say actually I just started two-handed bowling this year actually, and I did before I even started sophomore year. I was just messing around with house balls, just two-handed, just trying to get more curve on it. And so this year, Coach wanted a two-handed bowler, and I just fell right into it.
Well, I would say you fell right into the spot that you needed to be. Some great shots under some great situations. Great job for you again today. Coach Putney, shoes on the other foot. I like that. Your second title. What's it mean to you, and how do you think, what are you going to do next year, young team?
We do have a young team. The first thing I want to say is Greg Porchie's at home sick. And he was a big part of us getting here today. He struck out in the 10th frame yesterday to beat Seward to get to this position, and then he's so ill he couldn't get out of bed, and he was sick yesterday. Tried to come back today, couldn't make it. So, Greg, we're out here supporting you. Hope you get better and get back. But for us as a program, I think this is the next step. Last year we had a senior-laden team. We had 6 of 7 guys seniors. They graduated. We really challenged the young kids. You can make your own destiny. Get out here and work hard, pick up your spares, which is something we preach. And they did it, and so all the credit goes to these guys who really worked extremely hard.
Well, I would also say some great coaching. Great job again, your second title. Great job to you too, Tony. Well, that's it. The Pius Thunderbolts have won their second championship for Class B 2010. Steve, take it back to you in the booth.
Hey, thanks a lot, John. Great job to Tony and Larry and John on the approach. And once again, the Lincoln Pius X Thunderbolts, your Class B state champions, in a best-of-5 match and went all the way to game 5. Best 3 out of 5. We are going to be back here shortly. And actually, we're going to go right down the approach now to our PA announcer with our medal and trophy presentations.
All right, let's have another round of applause for all the participants in today's state championship match. And now for your trophy and medals presentation. First, the 2010 boys Class B state runner-up, Hastings Tigers. Assistant coach Chris Kristen and head coach Butch Hogan. Heath Sad. Andrew Peters. Kyle Kristen. Jared Gatto. Michael Pierce. Travis Faber. Dalton Monaire. Congratulations on a great season, and here's your runner-up trophy. And now for your boys Class B 2010 state champion Pius X Thunderbolts. Assistant coach Tyler Putney and head coach Larry Putney. Drew Miller. Nick Schuler. Derek Gossard. Tony Enzoda. Sam Kurtenbach. Justin Reisdorf. Congratulations, gentlemen, and here is your 2010 Nebraska State Championship trophy.
right, there they are, the Lincoln Pius X Thunderbolts, back-to-back state champions, your boys Class B champions here at Sun Valley Lanes, the Nebraska High School Bowling Federation State Championships. We will be back with a powerhouse match for Class A. It is the Elkhorn Antlers against the Lincoln Southeast Knights. This will be a great one to watch, folks. Hang in there. We'll be right back.